All right, y'all. I don't know if this if if the sound working on here. If it's not, I mean, I'll go through it later on and see. But I'm coming at y'all live. I want to come at y'all live and come at a discussion to um talk about a few things that's going on here in the world, are going on here not only in the world but in America too. Um, I remember this one time, me personally, every time I go to the doctor, it's like I feel like, this is me personally, I feel like I get sexually abused. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna tell y'all my instances, and maybe y'all, can agree, or maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I got aluminum foil hat on. Maybe I'm going crazy. We don't know. But all right. So this one time I was going to get a physical and stuff, and I'm going through all the precautions, for this job. They had me waiting in this room, and they tell me that they're like, yeah, just wait here for the doctor or whatever. And I don't know, it was a dude in the room next to me, and he was having, I guess, sleep apnea, or he was having problems sleeping. And he's explaining to this doctor, like, yo, I can't sleep, I don't know, what's going on with me. And the first thing that come out this doctor's mouth is, well, all right, let's drop your pants and let me see real quick. Just, take a look at the dude's junk. And then I told myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get on up out of here, because it's obviously something going on, with that doctor. So I just went ahead and bounced, said, fuck that job. I ain't about to be doing that. But this one time, another, a few jobs or whatever I didn't apply for, you got to take the physical and stuff. And I remember this one time I asked the doctor, I'm like, why are you grabbing my stuff, man? What's wrong? What you doing? And he simply said he's testing for a hernia. And I'm like, yeah, if I have a hernia, I'm pretty sure I know, that I have a hernia or whatever, and I should probably get that checked out. But, he touched my stuff and all that, and, went on about his day. But it's just, I feel like if you go in there with a head cold, hey, all right, well, let me see your junk. Like, man, what? I'm going in there to get my tooth looked at. Well, go ahead and drop your drawers and let's see. Like, man, what you trying to see, man? That's my mouth. It ain't got nothing to do with my dang junk. So, I always tell myself, and I'm starting to tell a lot of people of color this, is that people of color in America, or quote unquote America, because I don't go by all these rules and semantics and labels, but I tell people in the Northwestern Hemisphere, that's a correct language, correct term. I tell people in the Northwestern Hemisphere that if you go to the doctor, get a second opinion, or a second look at, a second opinion, because I know I got this one brother, I ain't gonna put him out there, but my brother was telling me that he had Crohn's or whatever, and he couldn't understand, I asked him, well, how'd you get Crohn's? Or, when'd you figure that out? He said he went to the doctor, he was in there for about a week, and, they diagnosed him with Crohn's. So I said, well, did you go to any other doctor? Is this the only doctor, that has diagnosed you with this? And, this nigga said, yeah, like, he ain't about to go see no other doctor or anything like that, because I'm like, man, hey, doctors misdiagnose people all the time. And if you are a person of color and you are at the doctor, this is a well-known fact that, black people tend to get misdiagnosed at the hospital. So, that's a fact. So, that's been happening a long time. That's why you'll hear a lot of, black folks that rather, wait this cold out or wait it out. I got to be on my deathbed. Me personally, I got to be on my deathbed before I go into another hospital, because, Yeah, no, I can't do that, man. And then what a report had went out that, there's racism. There's racism at the hospitals. And this is what I try to tell people, that racism is a unified, codified act, and that, you'll find racism in people activity. Wherever you'll find interactions with people, you'll find racism. And there was a good quote that my man Neely Fuller says. I'm trying to find it, you guys. Just give me 1 second. Damn, where is it at? Here we go. All right. Damn, I guess I don't. Hold on 1 second, Joe. Let me get this out. And this, you can get this from the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept by Neely Fuller. And y'all can get this book on ProduceJustice.com. And before I get anything else, man, Neely Fuller, man, I got to give him this props because he has spoken about this, for a very long time. And, if you buy this book, it tells you in an opening letter, it says, if you do not understand white supremacy, racism, what it is and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. And that was coined by Neely Fuller in the 1970s. So, he talks about that you'll find racism in all 9 areas of human activity. It's like politics, religion, health, war, counter-war, or war and counter-war, sex. But yeah, so you'll find racism in all these people activities, and a lot of people, tend to don't understand, the plight of Black people in America, man. I mean, this goes down just since they freed us, since they quote unquote freed us, because we was never really free. All right, we never got the education that we truly needed. We just got subpar education until about the 70s, 80s, and then that's when they bamboozled us and said, all right, did a little trick. So I'm getting off a point, but yeah, no, and it's like the deal with racism as a person of color here in the Northwestern Hemisphere is it's lightweight a tragedy, because you'll see people being subjugated to the racism and they won't even see it, because they think because somebody has to call you, the N word all day, or if they call you the N word, oh, that's being racist, or they call you a racial epithet, that's you, that's what racism is. But no, I mean, racism to me personally, this is my opinion, is that it works on a codified and more of a group basis, because you'll see people, and I see this today, I see a young Black male, pants hanging half off his butt, and got the flashy shoes, hair all fucked up, and it's like, my brother, I asked him, why you ain't got a belt on? Get your hands out your pants. Your hands ain't supposed to be in your pants. Your hands, some gloves. It's cold out. This young brother told me, hey, mind my business. You don't know what you're talking about, old man. And I don't see myself as an old man. And, I don't really see myself. I do see myself as somebody who understands their situation here. And I can't say this strong enough, or say this with enough feeling, that people people, quote unquote, I guess you would say, African American people here in America. Man, we're a dying group, a dying group. Everything that we have, culture wise, is just straight trash. Straight trash. I don't care. It's trash. It's trash. It's bull crap, man. Honestly, you know, the Cardi B's, what's that brother name? Man, I ain't gonna get into all that. You know, I ain't gonna disparage them too much because, you know, they put the dominant society put in front of us that we have to get money and that money is the root to everything. That's what they, you know, you'll see a brother, hey, shoot, I ain't about to get into all that. I'm trying to get my money. I'm about my money. I'm about my money. I'm about that bread. You know, hey, I ain't about to treat this girl nice. About my money. It's money over bitches, you know. Every girl is a bitch. Excuse my language. Every girl is a bitch and all that stuff. And I say to that brother, I tell when I hear that from brothers, I simply tell them, you know, what would you do with that money? You know, and then I get oh man, I do this, and this, you know, be able to fly here, go there, and all this and all that. And I tell them, man, is that what happiness really is? Is that what your happiness is, man? Happiness has been a delusion. A delusion. It has been a delusion to people to make them think that, you know, well, as long as I'm happy with, I guess, this nice house, if I'm happy with this nice car, if I'm happy with these nice shoes, if I'm happy with this nice outfit, then in turn, I am happy. But in turn, you're not happy. You are just a slave. And when I talk about white supremacy and white supremacists, I'm not talking about all white people, okay? White supremacy is a choice. If you choose to practice white supremacy, then you are in turn a white supremacist or a racist. So, with that being said, the white supremacist will throw out the delusion of, yeah, you happy by putting all these, I call them trinkets, putting these trinkets in your face. You know, they'll dangle them in you. This is what you want. This is what you need. You know, you need a nice house. You need a nice car. You need nice shoes. You need nice, you know, you need that. But in turn, that's not universal happiness, man. And right now, I want to have people understand, you know, racism, white supremacy. And then after you understand, then we start making tangible moves into replacing the system and replacing that system with a system of justice. And there is no true definition of justice. You can look it up. So in the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept, it says justice is making sure that nobody is mistreated, making sure that nobody is mistreated, making sure that somebody that needs help gets the most constructive help. And that I believe is just, I'm kind of chopping that up, but you guys could buy this book, and you know, this is a code, a counter-racist code. So it'll be a code that we can go by. And when I say a code, I don't mean that bullshit ass street code, because a lot of people, a lot of black folks, I see this a lot. Oh, I'm on the street code. I'm on the street code. How long have we been, quote unquote, under a street code? And look how we are still in the same position. All right. Same position. We don't own nothing, you know. Same position. So let's try moving from the street code. Let's try something different. Let's start thinking in a different way. You know, ask questions on why we do certain behavior. Why do you see certain things in our community? You know, and why, you know, and then once you understand or start to ask that question on why I'm doing this, and then you'll see the behavior patterns on, you know, behavioral patterns of how the white supremacists have put in our, you know, have put in front of us. And it's at the same time, you know, we'll live in a world where they'll say racism isn't real, or, you know, racism is over. We ain't got racism no more. You know, we did it. Look, you know, and honestly, I was one of those people, man. I used to think racism wasn't, you know, racism was dead. You know, we had a black president, quote unquote, black president, and, you know, things could have, things was kind of, it was a visual. It was a visual. Things looked on the up, on the all right side, but actually, if it didn't stay the same, it got worse. So, you know, and I had to think about something, you know, think about what I had to think about what I was thinking about. Okay, I had to see what I was thinking about and change it, because obviously there wasn't something correct here. And then I went back to the basis, you know. Well, I knew that Obama is a mixed person. You know, I know that. I know President Obama was a mixed person. Is a mulatto. If that's, you know, I don't know. They got a bunch of labels now, but a mulatto. Okay, but they call President Barack Obama, ex-President Barack Obama, a black man. He's not black. He's not black. He's mixed, you know. So they one drop ruled Obama. And I don't know if a lot of people know what the one drop rule is, but to the white supremacists, you got one drop of Negro and you a Negro. So I mean, hey. And as we've seen throughout his terms in office, that he was subjugated to white supremacy. He was treated like a nigga. And if that's not a slap in anybody's face, you know, it'd be a slap in the face of somebody who understands or try to understand what racism, white supremacy is. So, you know, I know I'm all over the place, y'all, but I just had to get all this out, a little bit out, because, man, I can't continue to talk about this on a social media level because of, you know, they find ways to shut Negroes up, you know, and it's either you shut up or you get down, you know, you have to lay down. And I guess I'm going to have to lay down on this one, but trust me, I'll be back, you know, and when I come back, I'm coming back even harder than supposed now, because, because we can change things, but we have to change things within ourselves, you know, like Gil Scott said, you know, the revolution changes, or you can only revolt your mind. Okay, so it's up to you. It's up to us. All right, individual people. We are all, you know, there is no quote unquote black leaders. There is no black leaders, because I see that in our community. We look for leaders when we don't need a leader. You know, a leader is just a spokesperson. We're all spokespersons. If you see yourself as a victim to racism, then you can be yourself a spokesperson on talking about subjects like this. And I'm gonna throw a few numbers at y'all. Just a second. I mean, I don't mean to be all over the place. I'm gonna throw a few throw a few things at y'all. See how we can get this going. Okay. Here we go. It's a movie called The Liberation of L.B. Jones. If anybody have not, I mean, I know a lot of people that's young because, you know, I'm in my 30s. You know, I'm in my early 30s. I ain't no, you know, early 30s. I mean, early 30s. I'm 30. Shit. But it's a movie called, so I know ain't nobody seen this outside of that age group. Probably, you know, people in their 40s and 50s probably have seen this movie or heard of it. But it's a movie called The Liberation of L.B. Jones. The Liberation of L.B. Jones is about this white cop who gets, you know, in trouble because he likes to sleep with black women. And, you know, I'm not going to expose the movie all the way, but because I prefer you guys to look this movie up and watch it, those who listen. And yeah, no, this movie, and you know, it's about codified, you know, working in a codified way. And I know it's a part in this movie where, you know, this cop, he's crying, you know, because he just killed, I guess he killed this black guy. And it was like because he was messing around with the black guy's wife or whatever, and yeah, so it was a scuffle. But anyway, he's in the police chief's office, and he says, you know, he's crying and all this, and you know, the police chief say, you know, well, why didn't you use your other gun? You know, stating that, you know, cops always carry two guns on them. He says, oh, no, you know, I was in the heat of the moment. I couldn't, you know, think about it or whatever. But initially he was lying. But he used his main gun or whatever. And, you know, the chief's like, you know, come on, you know, what was you even doing in that neighborhood? You know, you don't even belong over there. You shouldn't be patrolling over there. And, you know, he finally came out and said, you know, he likes sleeping with black women and all that. And, you know, at the end of the scene, the mayor, I believe it was, the mayor was like, well, you know, just give me the gun. We're going to wrap this up. You know, you go home, take a shower. We're going to figure this all out or whatever. And, you know, it's just looked at the end of that scene, you know, the mayor and the chief are, you know, woo, you know, he going to be able to keep quiet and, you know, listen. They gave him what to say, you know. A statement on what to say if he got interrogated by the press or, you know, asked by the press what happened. So it's like that right there, you know, is something that I see we need to, that little scene right there was significant because I see we, you know, need to get into a question mode. We need to have a question mode or get into a question mode to ask questions. And, you know, whenever I see somebody and, you know, you talk about racism, it's always three interactions that you'll see, and it's either going to be trashy, tacky, or terroristic, you know, and you have to ask these questions, but know not to get into an argument, you know, whenever you sit down and, hey, you know, can I ask you questions, real questions? It's always, you know, once you start getting to some more harder questions or complicated questions that not everybody want to talk about, you know, it's either you gonna get quiet, they either get quiet or, you know, oh man, get out of here. Ain't nobody trying to hear that mess. You know, shit. Go on somewhere with that bull crap. But yeah, no, and when you understand the history of racism, then you'll see that, you know, a lot of these labels that they put under us is made to confuse us. You know, that whole term African American, you know, when I hear a black person say, yeah, man, I'm African American, and I say, you know, well, where are you from in Africa? You know, where are you from? You know, oh no, I mean, you know, I'm from blase blah here in America. I'm from New York, but I identify as African American. Well, I'll say, you know, well, have you been to Africa, or have any of your parents, have you or your parents born in Africa? Well, even not you, because you wouldn't be an African American. Or well, yeah. But anyways, you or your parents, if your parents are born in Africa, then are you